Hi guys, thank you so much for clicking onto my video today. Today I'm going to be testing out some new makeup with you guys, including the Kvd Good Apple foundation, which has been so hyped here on YouTube, on TikTok and Instagram. So of course I had to pick it up to try it out for myself. So I'm going to do a little wear test on that today. And I'm also going to be trying out some other new makeup that I've got. I've not got a full face, but I've got a decent amount of new makeup to try out. So I'm really excited. I haven't tried any of it yet. Yeah, so I'm super excited. I love trying new makeup. So I hope that you enjoy my video. I'll drink my tea first. Okay, so first I'm going to start with my eyes, just because I usually do. And I'm just going to put a little bit of concealer on them just to smooth that base out. So I'm just using the Collection Lasting Perfection concealer, nothing new and exciting, but just, you know. And then I'm just going to blend that out with the Real Techniques beauty sponge. This is a brand new one because my other one needed binning, so I picked up a new one. And I love this sponge. I have dampened it down as well. Yep, so that just evened my eyelids out a little bit, took away some of that redness. And then I'm going to go in with my eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Nude Light eyeshadow palette, which is brand new to me. I haven't used it before. This is what it looks like. So it's absolutely beautiful. I feel like I should have taken a picture of it before I use it, but I'm just going to use it. It's fine. So I'm first just going to go in with the centre shade, that cream colour, just to set the eyelid. Oh, and it's got a mirror, which is nice. I've used Huda eyeshadows before and they're lovely. Like, I've got the Rich Nude palette from the same like little range as this one. And I've got the Topaz palette as well. And the quality of the eyeshadows is so good. Like, they blend so nicely and they always look so pretty. So I'm sure that this palette is going to be amazing anyway. But still, I thought I'd try it out on camera. Okay, so I've just set that. I'm then going to go in with this shade at the bottom, this middle one. I'm just going to sweep that like in the crease area roughly, nothing too precise, just as like a little transition type shade. Because obviously this palette is more like neutral, subtle, everyday kind of vibes. It's not going to be anything crazy, but I just think it's so pretty and I feel like it's something I'm going to use quite a lot. That's why I decided to get this one. Yeah, so that's what that looks like. Just really subtle. And then I'm just going to use the same brush, which is the Morphe S27 brush, which is one of my favourite brushes for eyeshadow looks. And I'm just going to take the darker shade and kind of concentrate that just a little bit deeper. I mean, I could have used a smaller brush, but just because I'm making such a simple look, I just want to see how this palette can perform as like a quick kind of makeup look. Like, if I can just quickly do this in the morning, that's perfect. Yeah, so obviously this isn't super neat. I'm not kind of a professional at this, but I think it's pretty and it's going on nice and easily. It's blending nicely. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Just gonna add a tiny bit more. Just bringing it in slightly more at the outer edge. It's so nice. It's going on so nice. Yep, so then I'm just going to add this shimmer at the bottom, just with my finger onto the centre of my eyelid. That is so pretty, look. That's such a nice eye look, and that literally took me like, what, 5 minutes? Not even 5 minutes. It's so simple, but I think it looks really pretty. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Right, and then I'm going to use the Too Faced Killer Liner in the shade Chocolate Killer. Now, I haven't used pencil eyeliner like this in a long time, so I'm kind of like, how do I go about this? How do I put it on? But I'm just going to create like a little like smudgy wing, I think. See how it goes. Obviously, the more I use it, the more I'll know what to do with it. But it looks so nice, and I've heard a lot of good things about these. So I'm just going to put a little bit here. It's a really nice colour, and it's gliding on really easily. I feel like there's surely a better way for me to use this pencil than how I just have. But I think it looks quite pretty. That looks better now I've brought it all the way across. Yeah, I never used pencils like this, but I just thought I'd give it a go, to be honest. So I'm sure I'll get better at it the more I do it. But as much as it's quite messy, by the time I've got my mascara and my lashes on, I think it's going to look fine. It's nice to have a brown pencil in my collection, just in case I want to use it. You know, I've got black ones, so I thought, why not get that? Yeah, so I'm gonna pop off camera and finish my eyes, just add my mascara and my lashes because I don't have no of either of those, and then I will be right back to continue applying the rest of my makeup. Hi, so I'm back and I've finished my eyes, so I just used the Kvd mascara, and then I put on my Too Faced false lashes that I love, and I'm gonna keep buying. Yeah, so I think the eyes look pretty overall. Obviously the eyeliner, I just applied it a little bit weirdly. I think it's really good. It seemed to be creamy and easy to go on, but then not budge afterwards. So I loved that. So next I'm gonna apply my base then. So I'll put on a little bit of primer, even though my skin is quite hydrated still from like my moisturiser. But I'm just going to apply a little bit of the Too Faced Hangover Primer, which isn't new. It's just one of my faves, to be honest. Just for a nice hydrated base. Yeah, so that will do. And then I'm going to go into the foundation, what everybody wants to know about. I got the shade Light 006, which could be a bit too light. Like, I'm expecting it to be a little bit light. So looks like this. It's fully recyclable packaging, so it's quite basic looking, but I also think it looks quite pretty, to be honest. That's the shade I got, so it might be fine. We'll see. And I'm just going to use the It Cosmetics foundation brush that I always use, just because I know it's a really good brush. So I'm just going to dip into it, I guess. And I believe you don't need to dip much. Oh my god, I barely dipped. And it's already coming on. So I don't want to apply too much at once. Like I know on TikTok you see people just go, and a big swipe of colour. But I'm trying to build it up gradually because I don't want it to be too thick. I think this shade will be okay. I mean, I think it's a little bit light, but I think I can bronze it up and stuff. I'm always getting things that are too light. But I hate it when it's too dark. I prefer it to be too light than too dark. Such a strange texture. It's really like a balm. I think it's like quite emollient. It feels a little bit like melty. It's got very good coverage because I'm literally barely putting any on. I'm literally just dipping my brush so gently into the little compact. It's definitely too light, isn't it? Oh. We'll see how it looks. I'll just add a little bit more just to see how it does build up. I almost think it's going to be one of those foundations that looks better through the day. Like when my natural oils begin to come through, I think it's going to look better. It's definitely too light. It looks a bit weird. I nearly got shade 8, but it just looked quite warm. Like this is a little bit cooler. And I don't like it when something's too warm on me. I tend to go for like a neutrally type shade. Okay, so my lips look insane. I'll remove that. That's how it looks up close. If you can see, let me turn the lights down quite a lot so you can see. I think it's looking a little bit dry, like on my forehead. Yeah. I don't think it's looking the best, I'm not gonna lie. But we'll see. It's so light, I look weird. Oh my gosh. We'll see, right. Just blend it down a little bit. I like the feel of it, like that emollient texture. It feels nice. I think it's going to look better through the day. It's going to look better through the day. Okay. So I'm going to leave it there with the foundation. Obviously, I'm quite on the fence right now. But this is a wear test, so it might be fine. We'll see. So I've got a new concealer to try. It is the Huda Beauty one, the Overachiever Concealer. Obviously, I love the Too Faced concealer, and that's the one I always use. So I'm a little bit hesitant to try any new concealers ever because I just think they're not going to live up to the Too Faced one. But I'm going to give it a go. And I got the shade Meringue, so it's probably going to be a bit darker than the foundation. But before I apply that, I'm just going to apply the Barium Flawless Colour Correcting Kit, which my mum actually sent me to try out. I have used it a couple times, so I'm just continuing to test it out. I think it's quite good, to be honest, especially for the price. This is what it looks like, and I've just been using the orangey shades, not the purple or green. So I just use my finger and I'll just mix the two colours and dab them under my eye. So this is the darker one. So that's the darker one, and then I'm just going to go in with the lighter one on top just to, you know, make it a little bit lighter. But since Becca have announced that they're going out of business, I'm like, I need to find an alternative to my Becca Under Eye Corrector. This one isn't really similar to that, I wouldn't say. This is a much thinner texture, it's a different colour. It's actually fairly similar to the Smashbox one that I've got, which is it's a thinner texture, but it's similar and it's a lot cheaper. So if this works, that's great. So that's all I do, just a little bit, not too much. And then I'm just going to go in with the concealer. So this is the applicator, which is quite unique. I think I'm just going to pop a little bit on the back of my hand. I'll just put a little bit there, and I'll just use this brush, I think, the other side of the cosmetics one. I'm just gonna blend it straight on. I'll probably blend it out properly with the beauty blender. That's what I usually do. Well, Real Techniques beauty blender. But I'll just apply it and blend it a little bit with this one. The shade's good. The shade's good. It's not too dark for the foundation, but it's perfect really, the shade. In fact, that foundation's looking better. I don't know. Is it? Is it just me? I think my lips are throwing it off because they're so foundation lips, basically. Yeah, so I'm just going to blend that concealer in properly with this sponge. That's gone on quite nicely. I thought it was going to look a bit thicker and drier than that. But it's looking quite good. I don't know how it'll be through the day, but that's looking quite good. Okay, I'm happy with that. Obviously, I chose to get this concealer, but part of me thought I wasn't going to like it that much. I'm just going to put a little bit like here, here, and here. Just a tiny bit though, because I don't want to disturb the foundation too much. The extra bit that's on there and just pat it under my eyes. I feel like I might need a little bit more like here, because I think you can kind of still see the colour corrector, but I didn't put a lot of concealer on, especially on this eye, because I kind of ran out of what was on the back of my hand. So I'll just put a touch more here. May as well do it on both sides. I get a lot of darkness like right here, like on the inner corner of my eye, and it's so annoying. I'm just gonna wipe some off with the brush. So I always have to try and conceal right in there. Okay, yes, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. So I'm just gonna set it with a loose powder. And I'm just using the Too Faced loose powder that I always use. It's the Born This Way one, because I haven't got a new one. I just tapped a little bit into the lid. I'm just gonna set where I concealed, and maybe my cheeks a little bit. I only very lightly set, even though I'm getting powder everywhere, because I don't want my skin to look too flat. You know what, that's looking pretty good. I'm quite happy with that concealer. It surprised me because I didn't think I was gonna be obsessed with it, and I mean, it might go really rubbish throughout the day, but for now I think it looks quite good. Okay, so next I'm going to apply like my bronzer and blusher, things like that. So for my bronzer, I've just got the Benefit Hoola bronzer. Just got a little mini, but it's lasted me ages, but I will get the full size when I run out of this. And I'm just going to use this Spectrum 805 brush. Just pop it here. I'm hoping this gives my face a bit of life, because right now it is looking quite ghost-like. To be fair, I should have used my concealer to like contour a little bit, but at the same time I do want to test the foundation properly, so I guess it's best that I've not. I like to apply it on my temple quite a lot. And I'm just gonna do it down my nose. I don't contour my nose, but I just need to give it a bit of warmth. Yeah, just there. Right, yeah, that will do. So that's bronzed up. I think it's looking better. 100%. It's starting to look fine to me. I think maybe it's gone slightly darker than when I first put it on. Maybe it oxidized a little bit, because when I first put it on I was like, oh my gosh, that's so light, but now I'm looking at it and it doesn't look wrong. It looks all right. Anyway, for blusher I'm going to be using the Colourpop Animal Crossing one in the shade Flower Tender. I have used this a couple times, but I've not used it a lot. This is what it looks like. So it's really pretty. And I'm just going to pop it on with this Wet n Wild brush. So before this I hadn't used a Colourpop blush. And it's kind of like, I found it's not super blendable. So once you've put it on, it's kind of like hard to budge it around. So I do try and be careful when I put it on and build it up gradually. I've got hair. Ooh. But it's a really pretty colour, I think. It's quite matte, but it has got like some sort of like little glitters in it, but it doesn't really seem to come off on the face like that. It just looks quite matte on my face anyway. Yeah, so I think that's pretty. I think things are going on top of this foundation quite well, because I've used this blush before and it didn't go on quite so smooth, but it's gone on quite smoothly today, which is great. So that's something to bear in mind about the foundation. Like, it does seem to let products go on top nicely. I'm going to use a new highlighter today. So we've got the Dior Backstage highlighter palette. It's the Glow Face palette in the shade Rose Gold. This is what it looks like. It's so pretty. Like, I don't actually want to touch it again. I should have taken a picture of it. Never mind. I'm going to use this palest shade down the bottom. And I'm just using this Morphe brush. I'm just going to gradually build it because I don't want it to be too crazy. It's looking quite subtle, but I think you can see it building up. I quite like a subtle highlight at the minute, because sometimes they can look like a stripe of like glittery on your face, which I don't want. I'm going to add a little bit of the peachy shade as well. So that's really pretty. It's quite subtle, but like I say, I quite like that. And I can definitely see it. It's just added like a nice glow from within to my skin, which I love. I'm going to do my eyebrows. So I'm just going to put a little bit of my browsings in it, like I always do. And then I have got GimMe Brow to try, which I've never tried. I know this is like one of Benefit's probably most popular brow products, and I've not tried it. So I decided I would get that to try, but I'm just going to use some of the browsings first, just to fill in my eyebrows a little bit. I'm just going to brush them through. And do my eyebrows with the browsings. That foundation's looking kind of nicer already. Now it's on my face. Like, look, it's almost not looking as dry. I don't know, already, which is good. It's growing on me for sure. So I'm trying to keep my eyebrows quite natural, just so I can put that GimMe Brow in. I'm not trying to add too much. We all have the better eyebrow, and it's not this one. Okay, that'll do. I've literally just added a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with the GimMe Brow, and I got shade 4.5. I have 5 in browsings, but I decided to get 4.5 in the GimMe Brow. So it looks like this. It's just basically like mascara for your brows. Set them in place, add a bit of definition. So just going to brush through. So I've used similar products from Rimmel and L'Oreal, like cheaper ones, and I actually think that the L'Oreal one's quite good. So I was definitely intrigued to see how this would compare and if it's worth the extra money. you know what, the applicator is definitely better because it's smaller. I actually think it's defining the brow hairs a little bit more. I wish I'd tried GimMe Brow sooner. I really like this. It's so simple, but it's made my eyebrows look way more fluffy, which I know is in at the moment. I'm going to just add a little bit of eyeshadow to my lower lash line. Now everything is in place, and I'm just going to use this little brush. I'm going to use the middle shade at the bottom, this like peachy one, just to, so it doesn't look quite so like rabbit in headlights. Concealer's creasing a little bit, but I have quite like creasy under eyes, and most concealers do crease under there. I mean, my Too Faced one does a bit, but it's definitely the best I've used, and this isn't bad yet, so I'm just gonna wipe it a little bit with this brush. Not got anything on it other than obviously maybe some leftover concealer, but I've tried to wipe it off. And then just go back over it with this eyeshadow. Yeah, so I'll put some mascara on my bottom lashes when I've finished filming, and then it will be on there for the checkups, but I don't think it's that necessary. Right, so I'm just going to go and scrub my lips before I put my lipstick on, and put a little bit of lip balm on. There we go, so that's a bit better. I've not got foundation lips anymore. So I'm going to use my Smashbox Always Sharp, sorry, I nearly said Always On, that's the lipsticks, isn't it? Smashbox Always Sharp lip liner. It's in the shade Safe Word. It's just like a nude type colour. It's not new, I've had it a while. I'm going to just do the lip liner. So I've only added a little bit of lip liner. And for lipstick, I've got a mini. It's the Kvd Everlasting Lipstick in Bow and Arrow, which is, again, just like a nudie colour, I believe. So I've got Lolita already, so I have used this formula before, but I wanted to try this colour. So it's just a mini one. Let's give it a go. It's a really nice colour. It's quite like a brown nude. But I think it's quite pretty. It's weird, it looks quite darker on camera than it does in real life. So normally I would definitely put a gloss on top just because I prefer that, but for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to leave it as it is. I think it's a really pretty colour. I don't know why it's coming off a bit darker on camera. I guess it is drying down darker. They don't dry the most even, these lipsticks. I remember that about the Lolita one. It's not uneven, but it's just not even. Okay, that'll do. Yeah, they're not the easiest lipsticks to work with, but they're not the hardest either, and I think the colours are really nice. It's very sticky right now, but I think it's just drying. So finally, I'm going to be using the Estee Lauder Set and Refresh Perfecting Makeup Mist. Just like this. I haven't used much from Estee Lauder other than like Double Wear, of course. Like a lipstick, a mascara. But yeah, I wanted to try this, and it's actually really decently priced for Estee Lauder. So I'm just going to get it going. Okay. Oh, it looks like it's going to be quite a nice mist. It smells so good. It's probably really fragranced. I just love how setting sprays melt everything nicely into your skin. And that's what it's looking like. I think the foundation is definitely looking better now everything's on. Hopefully it wears well through the day and stays looking nice. I think the shade is okay, to be honest. Especially when I look in the mirror. It originally looked lighter. And I think it's maybe just altered slightly now it's on my face. That's it in the pan. But yeah, that's it then. So I'll check in later today just to show you how the makeup's held up. I might not do check-ins, I might just check in at the end of the day to say how it is and how I found it. Because I think this video is already quite long. But yeah, I'll see you again soon. Hey guys, I'm here to show you how the makeup's lasted through the day. We're definitely looking quite shiny, but as I've said before, I do kind of prefer this kind of shiny look. It makes my skin look more dewy, a little bit healthier. I know it does look a little bit oily, but I just like it like this. So I think this foundation actually looks better now than it did earlier through the day, because I found that it looked quite dry on my skin through the day. It wasn't terrible, like I've definitely had worse, but it kind of clung to any dry patches. So if you do have a lot of dry patches, then this foundation might not be for you. It clung here and like on my chin and on the side of my nose. You can still kind of tell. Let me turn the light down. So that's the foundation. I still think it's quite nice though, like I'm glad I got it. Obviously it's good coverage. The other products went really nicely on top of it. And it's looking nice and like glowy. It actually doesn't feel as tacky as you would think, considering the like melty balm texture of that foundation when I put it on. It actually doesn't feel like sticky. Like it does a little bit here, but not sticky, just a little bit oily, but it doesn't feel tacky on my face like I thought it would. Anyway, yeah, I think it's good. It's not like a absolute favourite of mine, but I do kind of like it. The other products, the lipstick went really dry after about 2 hours, so I put gloss on top. But the colour of the lipstick has stayed on. This gloss is just got a tint of pink in it. But the lipstick colour stayed on. Obviously, I've had this on for 8 hours, so that's quite good, and I have eaten. Eyeshadow, fine. The highlighter, I still really like. It's quite subtle, but I like that. And the concealer creased quite a lot. I'll have to try it, like putting less on without that colour corrector underneath that I need to like cover. And like maybe set it with a different powder, give it a go, I don't know, but it did crease quite bad. You can kind of tell. I did tap it in once throughout the day, but yeah, it's not ideal. But I do have fine lines under my eyes, so it is going to crease. Like, there's no really avoiding it for me. The Too Faced concealer is the best one I've found, but even that creases a little bit. So, you know, you can't have everything. That's just my skin. But yeah, overall, I really like everything that I tried. I think everything looks nice. I don't regret anything. Yeah, so I'm really happy. Let me know if you've tried this foundation or any of the other products. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know. And thank you so much for watching my video today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next week for another one. Bye.